Imagine the video opening with a calm, inspiring scene. A blank sheet of paper resting on a simple wooden desk, soft light falling across its surface, and a pencil lying quietly beside it. At first glance, there is nothing special about this moment. The paper is empty, silent, almost waiting. Yet within that blank space lies the beginning of something extraordinary. The narrator begins speaking in a warm and thoughtful tone, inviting viewers to experience the journey of creativity from the very first sketch to a stunning piece of abstract art. The voice explains that every artwork, no matter how complex or beautiful it becomes, always begins with something simple. It begins with a thought, an emotion, or an idea that finds its way onto the paper through the movement of a hand. Abstract art is often misunderstood because it does not always show familiar shapes or realistic images, but that is exactly where its magic lies. Abstract art allows artists to explore imagination without boundaries, to use color, form, and texture as a language of expression that speaks directly to emotion rather than logic. The pencil is lifted gently, and the first line appears on the blank paper. It is soft, uncertain, and light, but it is powerful because it represents the beginning of the creative process. The narrator explains that the first sketch is not meant to be perfect. Instead, it is a place where ideas can grow freely. Lines begin to move across the page, forming shapes that may not yet make complete sense but slowly begin to build the structure of the artwork. Some lines curve gracefully, others intersect or overlap, creating patterns that hint at the rhythm of the composition. At this stage, the artist is not trying to create a finished picture. They are exploring movement, balance, and flow. Abstract art often begins with this kind of exploration, where the artist allows intuition to guide the pencil rather than strict rules. As the sketch develops, the camera moves closer, capturing the delicate motion of the pencil gliding across the surface. The lines become more confident, and the composition slowly begins to reveal its structure. The narrator explains that abstract art is often about feeling rather than representation. Instead of drawing objects like trees or buildings, the artist focuses on shapes, energy, and relationships between forms. Each line becomes part of a larger visual rhythm that will eventually guide the viewer's eye across the artwork. The sketch stage is like a quiet conversation between the artist and the paper, where each mark suggests the next step in the creative journey. Gradually, the sketch becomes more defined. Certain shapes are emphasized, while others fade into the background. The artist adjusts proportions, erases unnecessary lines, and strengthens important parts of the composition. The narrator reminds viewers that even the most complex abstract artworks often begin with these simple adjustments. Creativity rarely happens all at once. Instead, it grows through experimentation and discovery. Once the basic sketch feels balanced, the next stage of transformation begins, the introduction of color. The camera slowly reveals a palette of paints or vibrant pigments waiting nearby. The narrator explains that color is one of the most powerful tools in abstract art because it carries emotional energy. A bright red can feel bold and passionate, while deep blue can create a sense of calm or mystery. Soft pastels might suggest tranquility, while vibrant contrasts can bring excitement and movement to the artwork. The artist carefully selects the first color and gently applies it to the paper. Instantly, the sketch begins to come alive. Where there were once only gray pencil lines, color now introduces warmth, depth, and emotion. The narrator describes how this stage transforms the artwork from a simple drawing into a dynamic visual experience. Each brushstroke adds personality to the piece, gradually building layers of tone and texture. As the painting continues, the artist begins blending colors together. Some areas remain bold and solid, while others fade gently into soft gradients. The blending process creates transitions that guide the viewer's eye across the canvas. Abstract art often thrives on these interactions between colors, where unexpected combinations create harmony or contrast. The narrator encourages viewers to observe how the artwork evolves with each new layer. What once seemed like random lines now serve as the framework for a vibrant composition. The sketch remains hidden beneath the paint, but its presence still shapes the structure of the artwork. The camera captures moments of creative experimentation as the artist tries new techniques. Sometimes the brush moves quickly, creating energetic strokes that add movement to the composition. Other times the artist slows down, carefully placing small details that bring balance to the overall design. The narrator explains that abstract art is often about finding harmony between spontaneity and control. Too much planning can make the artwork feel rigid, while too much randomness can create chaos. The beauty lies in finding the perfect balance between the two. As the artwork grows more complex, textures begin to appear across the surface. Some areas become thick with layers of paint, creating a tactile quality that catches the light. Other sections remain smooth and delicate, offering contrast that enhances the visual depth of the piece. These textures invite viewers to look closer, discovering new details each time they observe the artwork. Throughout the video, the narrator shares inspiring reflections about the creative process. Art is not only about producing something beautiful, it is also about exploring imagination and expressing emotions that may be difficult to put into words. Abstract art allows both the artist and the viewer to interpret meaning in their own way. One person might see movement and energy in the shapes, while another might feel calmness or mystery. As the painting nears completion, the artist begins adding final highlights and shadows. These subtle adjustments bring clarity and focus to the composition. A bright highlight might draw attention to a central shape, while a darker tone might deepen the background and enhance contrast. The narrator explains that finishing touches are often what transform a good artwork into a truly stunning one. These details may seem small, but they bring harmony to the entire piece. The artist steps back occasionally, studying the painting from a distance to ensure that the balance of color and form feels right. The camera slowly reveals the finished artwork in its entirety. The transformation from sketch to stunning abstract art is now complete. What began as a blank sheet of paper and a few simple lines has evolved into a vibrant composition filled with color, energy, and emotion. The narrator reflects on the journey viewers have just witnessed. Creativity is not a mysterious gift reserved for a few talented individuals. It is a process that anyone can explore. Every masterpiece begins with a simple mark on a blank surface. The video now shifts its focus toward inspiring viewers themselves. Perhaps someone watching has always wanted to try painting but never believed they could do it. This creative journey shows that the first step is simply to begin. A sketch does not need to be perfect, and the first attempt does not need to be flawless. Creativity grows through curiosity and experimentation. Every new drawing teaches something valuable, and every painting opens the door to new possibilities. Even mistakes can lead to unexpected discoveries that make the artwork more unique. As the camera slowly pans across the finished abstract painting, the narrator reminds viewers that art is a form of freedom. Abstract art, in particular, invites artists to explore without fear of rules or expectations. It allows imagination to flow naturally, transforming simple ideas into powerful visual expressions. The video ends with a calm and inspiring message. The blank canvas that appeared at the beginning of the journey is now filled with color, texture, and life. The transformation serves as a reminder that creativity is always waiting to be discovered. Somewhere right now, another blank page is waiting for its first line. Another idea is waiting to become a sketch, and another sketch is waiting to become a masterpiece. And the only thing needed to begin that journey is the courage to pick up a pencil and make the very first mark. As the finished abstract artwork now rests quietly under the soft studio light, the camera slowly glides across the surface, revealing the depth of colors, the layered textures, and the rhythm of shapes that were born from the very first sketch. The narrator gently reminds the viewers that what they are looking at now was once nothing more than an empty space, a silent canvas waiting for imagination to arrive. This moment becomes a powerful reflection on creativity itself, because every masterpiece, no matter how impressive it may seem in the end, begins with uncertainty, curiosity, and the courage to begin. The camera pauses briefly on one corner of the artwork where bold colors blend into softer tones. The narrator explains that abstract art is a unique form of expression because it does not try to copy the world exactly as we see it. Instead, it invites us to experience the world through emotion, imagination, and personal interpretation. In abstract art, a shape might represent movement, a color might express energy, and a texture might reflect a feeling that words cannot fully explain. This freedom is what makes abstract art so powerful and inspiring for both artists and viewers. The video slowly transitions to show earlier moments in the creative process again. The sketch lines appear faintly beneath the paint, like quiet memories of the artwork's beginning. The narrator reflects on how those early lines, which once looked simple and uncertain, played an essential role in guiding the entire composition. Without the sketch, the colors would not have had a structure to follow. Without that first step, the final piece would never have existed. As the story of the artwork continues, the narrator begins speaking more directly to the audience. Encouraging viewers to imagine their own creative journey. Many people believe that art is something reserved only for professionals or people who have studied it for years. However, creativity is not about perfection. It is about exploration. The most important step in creating art is simply starting. The video now shows the artist returning to the painting for a few final adjustments. Even though the artwork appears complete, the artist still studies it carefully, looking for small opportunities to enhance the composition. A soft highlight is added to bring light into one section, while a deeper tone is blended into another area to increase contrast. These final touches are subtle, but they strengthen the overall harmony of the piece. The narrator explains that artists often develop a deep connection with their work during this stage. After spending time sketching, painting, and refining the composition, the artwork begins to feel like a reflection of the artist's imagination and emotions. Each color choice, each movement of the brush, and each layer of texture becomes part of a visual story. The camera slowly zooms out, allowing the entire artwork to fill the frame. From this wider perspective, the balance of the composition becomes clear. The shapes flow naturally across the canvas, guiding the viewer's eye from one area to another. Colors interact with each other in a way that creates both harmony and contrast, giving the artwork a sense of movement and life. The narrator reflects on how abstract art invites viewers to participate in the experience. Unlike realistic paintings that clearly show a subject, abstract art allows each person to interpret the image in their own way. One viewer might see waves of energy flowing across the canvas, while another might imagine landscapes, emotions, or even stories hidden within the shapes. This openness of interpretation is one of the most beautiful aspects of abstract art. It reminds us that creativity is not limited to the artist alone. Every viewer brings their own imagination and feelings to the artwork, making the experience unique for everyone. As the video continues, the narrator begins sharing a deeper message about inspiration. Creativity often begins with curiosity. When we allow ourselves to explore ideas without fear of making mistakes, we open the door to discovery. The sketch stage encourages experimentation, the coloring stage encourages expression, and the final touches encourage patience and reflection. The video now shows the artwork displayed on a wall, where it becomes part of a living space. Soft light reflects across its surface, highlighting the textures and layers created during the painting process. The narrator explains that art does not only exist in galleries or museums. It can live in everyday spaces, bringing beauty, energy, and inspiration into people's lives. Viewers watching the video may begin to imagine creating something similar themselves. The narrator gently encourages this thought, explaining that the tools required to start creating art are often simple: a pencil, a piece of paper, and a willingness to explore imagination. The journey from sketch to stunning artwork is not a straight path. There are moments of uncertainty, moments when ideas change direction, and moments when unexpected results lead to new possibilities. These moments are not obstacles, they are part of the creative adventure. The artist in the video pauses once more to look at the completed piece. There is a quiet satisfaction in this moment, a recognition that the artwork has reached its natural conclusion. The narrator describes how every finished artwork becomes both an ending and a beginning. It is the end of one creative process, but it often sparks new ideas for future projects. Artists frequently find that completing one piece of art inspires the next one. The colors used in one painting may lead to new combinations in another. The shapes explored in one composition might evolve into more complex designs later. Creativity is like a continuous flow of ideas, each project building upon the last. The video now slowly fades between scenes of the finished artwork and the earlier stages of the sketch. This visual contrast highlights the incredible transformation that has taken place. What began as simple lines has grown into a vibrant, expressive creation that captures attention and sparks imagination. The narrator shares a final reflection, reminding viewers that creativity belongs to everyone. It does not matter whether someone is an experienced artist or someone who has never picked up a pencil before. The process of creating art is about exploration, curiosity, and personal expression. Even the most famous artists once began with simple sketches. Their masterpieces grew from the same humble beginnings that anyone can start with today. The difference between an empty canvas and a finished artwork is simply the decision to begin. As the video approaches its closing moments, the camera gently returns to the blank paper that appeared at the beginning of the story. This time, the viewer sees it differently. It is no longer just an empty page. It is a place filled with possibility, waiting for new ideas to take shape. The narrator delivers one final inspiring message, reminding viewers that imagination is one of the most powerful tools we have. When we allow ourselves to create freely, we discover new ways to express emotions, tell stories, and connect with the world around us. The screen slowly fades while calm music plays in the background. The last image of the artwork remains visible for a moment longer, glowing softly with color and texture. The message that stays with the viewer is simple yet powerful. Every stunning piece of abstract art begins with a single sketch, and every creative journey begins with the courage to make the first mark.